This is me at 1.5 years old, and this is my dad, and this is my mom. They are from the Netherlands. And this is the moment that at that point, total strangers from the Netherlands came to China to officially adopt me and become my new parents. This is my adoption story. So let's not beat around the bush and keep it simple. I do not know anything about my birth. I have no information about where exactly I was born. Was I born in a hospital or at home? Or even in what city or village I was born? Or exactly how I was born? Whether my birth was an easy one or a difficult one? And most important, as well as something that can be considered as a very basic fact in one's life, I do not know who gave birth to me. I do not know my biological parents. I have zero information about them. And no, I'm not sad about it. I don't think about it every day. And I don't have self-pity, and neither should you pity me. There are times that I'm not even fully aware of it, and that I almost forget that I don't know them. So, yes, I guess that my life, my story, might as well call it my birth story, kind of started when I was 1.5 years old and got adopted from China, from a city called Huanggang in Hubei province. When I sneaked around the corner of the orphanage I used to live in and met my parents for the first time. My story started right there, right then, at 1.5 years old. When they laid eyes on a new baby, their new child, and their new future. And I laid eyes on my new parents, a new home. And that new home would be in the Netherlands, a new country with a new language, new food, a new culture, and a new family, where I met my new older sister, my new nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and new friends. And for that, I'm grateful. Because I had a great and loving childhood, in which I felt loved, safe, and happy. But let's rewind back to that orphanage, to the place where I used to live and walked my first steps and spoke my first words. This place was called the Social Welfare Institute of Huanggang. In other words, it was a state-owned orphanage, built to foster the many orphans of China at that time. And in those times, oftentimes, these babies and children that ended up in those orphanages were not real orphans. Often, they were a result of the one-child policy of China, the harsh reality for many Chinese families. That meant that having more than one child is to pay. But let's not make it too political and complicated for now. Because all I know is, just like in many cases worldwide when it comes to international adoption, it is complicated. And I am probably not adopted because I had no parents. They probably do live somewhere, thinking about me, worrying about me, praying for me. And they have to live every day, every hour, and every second, wondering where I am, where I ended up, whether I am safe, loved, and whether I am happy. And so do I pray for them, that they are safe, that they are loved, and they are happy. And most of all, that they know they did the right thing, that they should not be ashamed and should not feel guilty. Because, as this video up until now might suggest, I am not angry, I am not bitter, and I do not feel resentful towards them. I accept the past, and although I have to admit it was not an easy journey, although there were times I was very confused and in fact very angry and lost, I know I cannot change the past, and in order to grow as a person, I have to let go of my past, of all the doubts, the what-ifs, and just accept it as it is. Accept the fact that I do not know anything about the first 1.5 years of my life, that I do not know my biological parents, my biological family, whether I might have a brother or a sister somewhere in the world. And I guess my adoption story is a story of acceptance, a story of resilience and of strength, and Adoption in the end actually helped me to better understand myself and to have empathy, to learn to deal from a very young age with the fact that life sometimes can be unfair and that you don't always have the answer, and that's fine, because in the end, it will all be alright. You will be fine and I will be fine. Thank you for listening to my story.